an Allosaurus against a giant duck, a Spinosaur versus the Indoraptor, packs of raptors hunting for food, and many more. What would happen if I put hundreds of dinosaurs to fight on one environment? From sky pterosaurs into the reptiles of the ocean, today I'll be combining every dinosaur into one ecosystem in Jurassic World Evolution 2. And we'll see how many of them survive a thing called the merging and the final dome. Like every beginning, we dropped into the sunny flatlands of California. We set an arrival point to pinpoint the start of our zoo and quickly started terraining a mountainous range to build around, lifting some flat land and dragging out ridges to trick my audience into thinking they're gonna see a giant mountain. That's you. And this little arrival point will be the entrance for all our human guests later on. Anyways, I flattened out our new terrain by watering and removing it right after. Moved our entrance to the top and placed a few guest amenities while shaping the roads to create our small little center. Okay, and of course I made it pretty. This will be our foundation and I stretched out a road downwards to make space for our very essential response facility. These bad boys will be the one handling and moving any dinos. With all of this established, we quickly began making our first ecosystem. Rocks. I turned a slope into a rocky cliffside by placing a few big rocks and using a feature from the game that allows you to place rocks at random sizes and rotation. Before previously shaping out the land first, by the way. All up into the morning, I got a rock structure I like and quickly propped up large barriers and terraform fluctuations into the ground. Remember, I want to simulate our dino's environment as much as I can. These attached hatcheries will then be used to release these dinosaurs into their new home, or battle cage, whichever you prefer. A large water body fits perfectly into the middle, and after spraying a few patches of trees and vegetation, I painted the surface from the hillside rock down to the dirt across the water body. I figured these would house more grazing dinosaurs, so I drew trails of dirt to blend into the grass. After a bit more trees, other sexy additions, and more rocks, I called our first ecosystem done. The Big Creek. I'll be using a wheel to pick out the first few dinosaurs, and to our very first residents, we'll be welcoming a pack of Gallimimus. A bipedal runner, quick and could outrun a lot of crawling predators. They quickly got accustomed to the forescape and how dare you. I even added a few feeder goats to give a little additional food source. Anyways, they need friends too, so to match the graceful Corythosaurus. The abundance of ground leaf will be perfect for these big-thighed ornithopods. But with thick thighs come those who are hungry for them, because tonight we'll be releasing our first carnivores. But first, let me explain to you what I'll be doing, and what the merging of these ecosystems will look like later on. The goal is that we're going to be building large individual ecosystems and gradually adding different dinosaurs into each one, seeing them live amongst themselves or hunt one another, making a number of large unique environments and of course as beautiful and zoo-like as possible. During all of this, we'll be monitoring all our dinos that are battling and eating each other. And in the end, the merging will combine all these ecosystems into one, moving all the food source in the middle and let time run for 3 hours until only the strong few is left. Only then will the dome commence, a final arena where the strongest dinos will be moved, battle, and crown the prize champion. So let's get started. It looks like our herbivore friends seem pretty comfortable living in the creek. But guess who's going to ruin that? Me. I'm going to ruin. Anyways, as soon as nighttime fell, our first carnivores will be entering the creek. The Dilophosaurus. You may know these guys as the one that spits poison, but that's a lie. They are excellent pack hunters and took no time scanning every inch of the area. And instantly we could see them prowling for something. Our Corythosaurs. They didn't know what's coming to them. These raptors closed in with numbers to their advantage and took their first prey. What the? Actually, not long after, a few stray hunters even took down an adult Gallimimus on their own. Well, it seemed the Dilophosaurs are on the throne to running this creek. For now. Desert valleys used to be the hope to thousands of dinosaurs, and so I propped up some large dunes and valleys into the side of a large fence habitat and added a large water body in the middle, painting it with sand and rocks of a desert. These scarce water bodies used to fuel herds of dinosaurs forced to gather around to drink, survive, and unfortunately, meet the terrors of the desert. Once I got a good grainy natural look, I added the vegetation that will grow along the waterline and lines of rocks across the mountainside. Place them all around too. It's kind of peaceful actually. The soft sounds of... Oh my god. Well, there goes another Corythosaurus. But anyways, I added a bunch of cactuses around and the oasis is done. Oh, wait till you see the creatures that will roam these sands. With the hatchery, I released a huddle of dinosaurs. Do I think they're cute, or do I just want prey for my carnivores? You'll never know. Anyways, alongside it, a pack of healthy Synthosauruses and a member of the Ankylosaurides to spice things up. Into the night of the oasis they go. Back on the creek, our raptors seem to be ignoring the goats and dominating the herbivores instead. So I figured some challenges do. Here goes the least scary dino name in the world. Albert. Tosaurus. They sound like they can do your math homework, but this time they are acing your Gallimimuses instead. I don't know what that means. But for the time being, the carnivores are respecting each other's hunting grounds. Look at this poor guy, having no love of his life left uneaten. I know, you guys want me to release a bunch more dinosaurs, but how about we first take to the skies? The Roost, a soon-to-be arena for flying pterosaurs, and we begin by building a large aviary dome structure and a few hatcheries on it. So after a little terraining, I had to figure out a good lake to source the fishes for our flying reptiles. They also mainly nest on rocks, so I shot up a number of sharp boulders along the waterline and some trees to go around. With a surface of ornamental shrubs, I also lifted up some hills and nooks of rocks and a shrubbery insect corner on the edge. And finally, the pterosaur haven is made. Welcome to the Roost. we're gonna be needing more hatcheries for our plan. That is releasing flocks of every species of pterosaurs at once and seeing how they do. But before that, these bats. Dracula looking black floof balls, and I thought I'd release a bunch of them to settle in first. Warm up the rocks a bit, you know? I mean, look at them, my gosh. You're all gonna die. And quickly started incubating every single species of pterosaur available in the game. In the dawn of the next morning, we'll be releasing all of them at once, and you won't believe what happened. But first, let's not forget the Oasis is still due its first carnivore. Meet one of my favorites, the Carnotaurus. I mean, what's not to like? It's mean and vicious with its 2 unique horns, but stubby hands to balance it out. And these guys will be one of our species with a kill counter. And trust me, that won't stay 0 for a long time. Oh, the creek is going to have a hard time after the merging. Wait, what's even going on over there? What in the... Okay, but the Carnos can't seem to stop feeding, so why wait before adding more to the Oasis? I wanted to add a raptor swarm, so the first entering the habitat is... Wait, why are you so small? Even in this battle, look at them! They won't kill a thing. Nah, that's more like it. Now let's see how these Coelophyses fit in our ecosystem. But all in all, our Oasis is stable, thriving even. But quickly, our new residents took an appetite to their smaller counterparts. Hunting them didn't seem easy, but they keep finding them. And in the heat of the hunt, our Dinosaurs are quick to become easy meals too. And not even our bigger herbivores are safe. Okay, all that killing makes you want to look at these little guys. Aw, you haven't forgotten about them, have you? Anyways, today we'll be the releasing of the Roost, and our flying friends will be all thrown under one dome. Let me introduce you to the roomies. Tapejara has the powers of looking like a potato chip. Tropeocnatus, large and was apparently beak-drenched in strawberry jam the night before. The classic Pteranodon, Merodactylus, Saurodactylus, and this Jurassic World abomination. You've seen the movies, right? Into the Roost our beautiful reptiles go, and it took no longer than a minute to find our first casualty, a Tapejara. But who could be behind this murder? In fact, looking around, a bunch of our Tapejaras are dying because of our Tropeos. Somewhat species motivated, I see. I looked around, but it looked like everyone was simply nesting and feeding, and in a flash, a dead Tropeocnatus, killed by a Tapejara. It looks like we have a good old-fashioned faction war going on. So we scouted our Pringle-shaped soldiers and waited. And waited. I feel really creepy. Oh, by the way, look at our bats, are hiding away so well. Anyways, waited until... our final Tapejara, and just like that, we know who rules over the Roost. As a final send-off, I've released some new Tapejaras into our creek and let them enjoy life, well before they started killing guests and I had to remove them. On to our next large ecosystem, the Path of the Giants. I laid out an Omega Fence habitat which will act as a trail for our giants. But quickly, let's take a look at our Carno's kill count when we're away. And for me, I love competition, so let's introduce some new friends, shall we? The Edmontosaurus, quickly hiding amongst the vegetation, and finally... the Chienzosaurus, going to make a fierce rival for our Carnos, and they had to prove it right away. Success! In fact, throughout the night, the hunting grounds seemed to be ruled by our new theropod friends, and you'll see this rivalry continuing for a long time after the life of our first Carno is taken. Someone is mad. But the giants. Before that, I prepared for the merging, adding a bridge between the 2 ecosystems and decorating the path with plenty of food and nature. After some painting, I added the hatchery where I continued to the land of the giants. A mountainous backdrop I made would make new dinos roam downhill into the river I stretched over the plains. After changing the scenery to its appropriate textures of rock and dirt, I'm so proud of it, I slowly and gradually added the vegetation and rocks to the surface until we called it done. A path for our giants to trek, and at sunrise a mix of sauropod and ornithopod dinosaurs enter. Back at the Oasis, one of our enraged Carnos had been victorious in every single battle. So while it takes its revenge, let's work on our next project. The Lagoon. What will happen if you place dozens of aquatic dinosaurs into one pool? We're gonna find out. I built a decently sized lagoon enclosure and a hatchery onto it. Good thing for me, there isn't much terraining and decorating needed because it's just an ocean floor. And a shark feeder too, why not? With this viewing platform, we'll get to see all the action in real time. Anyways, I spent no time releasing the cruelest monsters of the ocean. Ichthyosaurus. It's like Ichi. This oogly boogly-eyed fish will be the first to roam our open waters. Ouch, I've been impaled. But then followed by their long-necked cousins, a pack of wormy plesiosaurs, and ew, the elasmosaurs. Who would want to be a fisherman in the Jurassic era, huh? Look at these guys. But look back into our creek, the raptors are almost out of food. Territories became stricter and the carnivores had finally gone against one another. But ultimately, the Albert stood strong. So right after this, they'll be introduced to some new visitors. Anyways, our new marine residents are settling in, trekking the calm waters in peace with one another. Aw, even lonely. But that won't last very long because we'll be releasing the Mosasaur, huge marine reptiles who ruled the waters ages ago, and the others seem to know immediately. Okay, come on, what are you doing? But I'm scary, yeah, that's what he is. But with a threat like him, others in the food chain will take any opportunity to strike. But Mr. Moza here will not take that so easily. And the battle continues. And with our king being outwit by numbers, he needed some energy. Food. But in an unforeseen battle, the pack of the ocean was too strong and our mosasaur is put to rest. For our lagoon, the story ends here. It's time for the merging. All our ecosystems will combine. During this phase, we'll gradually drop the walls between these ecosystems and let time run for 3 hours. But first, to the creek and the Oasis, a flurry of new dinosaurs. Bear with me. Headbutt friend but spiky. Giant duck. Oh. More spikies, you again, the return of the Dilophosaurus, and all of you. Things are about to get spicy. Anyways, as you expect, there's a lot of fighting. Our Alberts took no time hunting our Pachycephalosaurus for a quick snack. More of our ducks died, and fighting over territories became very common. But all in all, it's not a good time for our new herbivores. But they'll fight back, trust me. But it's time for our first titan, the Acrocanthosaurus, or Artie. He's going to be a key player. And finally, to break the merging, a new pack of Eutyrannus. Vicious yet adorably fluffy. Then all what's left is putting the walls down. This is too much to handle. But with time, the number of dinosaurs are dwindling. As the merging goes on, I will gradually put in more and more dinos, like this pack of Dracorex to fight against the... And a totally non-biased choice, but a second generation of Carnos. Anyways, with an abundance of food for the carnivores comes a lot of battling to rule the feeding grounds. Some took over than others, and some formed very long rivalries. But evidently, Artie's ruling over the Oasis, even with many challengers. Well, the Oasis is a graveyard. We also have to thank a Carnos for that, and you can slowly see them entering the creek. The next phase of the merging will begin. The Path of Giants has been in peace for the longest time, and that's about to end. But with the borders down, all our ecosystems are combined. But not before our new challengers. Well, without question, our Velociraptors are dominating the territory. I mean, have you seen the movies? So with more and more packs of theropod rivals being added, tension among the carnivores are even worse as food decreases. So what better to do than introduce our next titan? It needs no introduction, does it? Let's keep count. It seems our titans have been ruling, but we'll have a few more on its way, don't worry. Anyways, herbivores are not on her menu at all. I mean, like there's any spare. And they started to realize the meat bundles that are sauropods. I mean, just look at those. Tension stayed high amongst the carnivores, and a lot are taken out by the 1 hour mark. Oh, damn. See, they can fight back. But, I love chaos. Stay tuned because on the 2 hour mark, we'll be adding every single dinosaur left on the list. Well, except for a few. But while all that was happening, look who has been leaving a trail of bodies. She's so hot. For the creek, our yellow ducks are standing their ground for the pond and made it their home. But the 2 hour mark came pretty quickly and it's time to release everything else, so... And for the cherry on top, let's add the last few titans, the Giganotosaurus, the biggest two-legged carnivore ever discovered, the Caradon, and my favorite, evilest one of all, these guys. They will dominate the lands. The newer raptors took to the last few herbivores first, and for the rest, it is just a never-ending game for dominance. A lot of it. And Artie made one mistake challenging the newly giants for food. You had a nice reign, buddy. For our little critters, most are forgotten, and all the corpses become a new opportunity to get an easy meal. Even for our bigger carnivores who don't really feel the appeal to fight. But amidst all this carnage, we're still missing one last guy. It's time. The T-Rex. It made its presence clear and stalked its competition. Remember, it's almost 3 hours and soon we'll be entering the dome, and we have some surprises there too. In the last few moments, Liz has eliminated many of the smaller carnivores, and old territories of the creek has been broken by our T-Rex. On the side, we have herbivores establishing ways to fight back. Why are our Velociraptors always flying? Anyways, but also some dinos totally detached from all the chaos. For our Roost and our Lagoon, they have been at complete harmony. Our Carnotaurus has been sly and surviving strategically, and some other packs of theropod remain unchallenged. That will soon change. The last minutes are counting down, and the hunting and corpses has only increased. No, my babies, how dare— Okay, I have to say I'm biased. Some of our titans have been slowly deteriorating, a consequence to their ego, but nuh-uh, not Liz though. In the morning, day of the 3-hour mark, a Giganotosaurus lay dead on its last attempt to feed, its wounds finally catching up to him. It's time for the final arena to commence. The carnivores took their last meals to heal up, and I tranquilized each of our fighters in order to move them. Before I could finish, our T-Rex overpowered the last Giganotosaurus like he was nothing, a perfect display of its power. Into the roster he goes, and we move each and every last carnivore. What will these predators do under one small enclosure? And after our last but certainly not the least, the dome has started. This won't end until one is left. My bet is on the T-Rex. He's the strongest and will destroy every single— Just one bite. Liz is that powerful. The fight started immediately, and we are introducing the Guardians of the Dome. The Indominus Rex. This was the secondary antagonist of the Jurassic Park franchise. She was one of the largest existing This will be interesting. But that's not all. And as night fell, the one final challenger. The Indoraptor. His red accents and black daggers of claws should explain themselves. The first battle shows our Indoraptor challenging our Spino with a flurry of jumps and tackles, dodging effortlessly. All like a goat, and Liz stood no chance. For now. In a surprise, on the other side, strength in numbers has allowed our Carcharodontos to take down the Indominus Rex. See, this could be anyone's game. Remember our Carnos? They seem to be having fun taking out whatever Velociraptors are left. And finally, the reign of Liz has fallen. Now you rest. The final 3 is left. A Carno, last of its kind, and this much kill count to its name. A single Carcharodontosaurus, taken down 2 of the most notorious dinos so far. And the Indoraptor, who seemed to be unfazed in all its battles. Now let's look at the most intense battle between these oh, they're thirsty. Okay, but after a nice soak, the Carno took to our spiky friend first. One bite. He roughed him up a bit, and that was enough. What was our other fighter up to? Just casually sleeping, huh? Now what a wonderful scene of a desperate attempt to get some health. But their fight have not ended yet. Not the biggest and the strongest, but truly one of the smartest. And awoken from his slumber and a quick meal, now we wait. Our Carno was impatient, but after one glance he wanted nothing to do with the Indoraptor. Stress eating, I see, but the Indoraptor did not let him off, hitting him with his quick attacks. And another. The Carno stood strong and successfully put off the raptor for a while and tend to his wounds in the spring. But in the morning, a fight was owed, and there was not enough time for our Carno. And that was all. The winner of the dome is the Indoraptor. I took him back to our large ecosystem and set him free. And to finally crown my prize champion, wait. Actually, you guys pick who throughout this challenge has deserved the title. With its last residence, our ecosystem will live on until its final days. Thank you for watching.